Are we live? We're live. All right, welcome Mexpat to another live stream. We're going to keep this nice and loose, hit some main topics until questions start coming into the chat. Feel free to bring up anything and anything at all. We will address it, but core topics, Proyecto Escolar. We'll get into that here in a minute. Bulking, Joel's on a bulk. I'm actually on a bit of a cut right now in World Cup 2026 in Mexico City. So that will get this place a ton more attention than it's already getting. If you are new to the channel, you'll know that we do advocate Mexico City. We think it's a great place to live. We have plenty of videos as to why, and then I will get into the first one. So if you're brand new to the channel, Proyecto Escolar, that was a creative collaboration we did recently. We actually filmed it a while ago, but it was really hard to get the editing done. It took them roughly a month or so to do it. Reason being, it's a mockumentary style expose. They went in the field with us, did some field approach type footage. Think office style, think Borat style, tongue-in-cheek humor. So the sit-down part, we're on a podcast for 90 minutes, kind of boring for their audience. But the couple lessons learned from there, I encourage you to go, once this live stream's done, check it out on the channel. Kudos to our guy Brandon. He went out there, I think it was his first cold approach session, if I'm not mistaken, put himself out on the line. For the nature of the content they were doing, naturally, they only took the dumb clips, so where I'm stumbling over my speech in Spanish, where Brandon gets shut down or whatnot. However, if there's any marketing and sales guys out there, you know this. We talk about these parallels a lot when it comes to dating, when it talks to job searching, when it comes to just putting yourself out there, making yourself available, putting filters in the process so you get the attention you want to get. Well, we got a lot of attention here. If you look to the comments and speak Spanish, 90% of them are negative, but we've been on plenty of big podcasts before. That's usually par for the course. However, fantastic experience, super fun, and some lessons learned, guys. You will see, again, the style of the mockumentary was to be a bit cartoonish, to be a bit satirical. So a lot of guys that have these hangups in their head of, oh no, I can't do it, or oh, what if I look foolish? You will see it right there. This is the worst that will ever happen. You'll not get slapped in the face. You'll not get a drink poured on you. You'll get, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, tee hee hee, maybe a fake number on Instagram. Maybe your conversation will stall out. You don't know what to say or go from there. So definitely recommend checking it out. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a tongue-in-cheek type humor, satirical. I'm a huge fan of like The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, those types of comedies. So when Joel actually presented the offer, he's worked with these guys before on other creative type projects. So these guys are actually professional filmographers, cinematographers. They have a marketing agency here. I do marketing at the corporate level as a global marketer by trade. Joel does global sales. So it's a really fun collaboration. If there are any creative types that are watching this stream, definitely be sure to reach out to us. You know, we're open. You know, we're not beyond making fun of ourselves, and you'll certainly see it here. But feel free to drop us a line if you have any creative projects at all. Joel and I are both musicians too, so you'll see us out and about around town or on other channels locally every now and then. So that being said, Joel, is there anything else you'd like to add? Or I want to hear about your bulk, actually.
Yeah, we will get into that for sure. Yeah, it was a super fun project. Like you can see here, we're laughing, we're having a good time. And it is definitely satirical. I was not aware that it was going to be like that. I thought it was actually going to be like, very like informative and actually sharing what we offer. But apparently that's like the entirety of the channel. So it's not like they singled us out or anything. And I'm okay with it because we got a lot of new people that came to the channel. So the people that actually want help and resonate with the message, they're going to see through the, the jokes and the funniness and stuff, because it was funny. And then they're going to actually want to come and get the help. So we appreciate anybody new that has come to the channel from it. And
yeah, that one's funny.
Yeah, they just ripped Brandon, dude.
I kind of knew it was going to be satirical coming into it. I think that they helped assuage that concern me in terms of, hey, we'll do a 90-minute podcast before we go out and film the footage. And as you know, guys that have been around the channel since the early days when it was just me, it was all podcast style. We're going back to more of a live stream format because we can have just more direct, in real time, two-way type conversations. And then from that, we can take clips and reels or whatever. Joel and I are busy as well. So I kind of knew there was going to be a satirical slant coming into it. I'm familiar with these guys. I have friends that follow this channel. I've seen them pop up on my feed before. And I've seen other videos of theirs, so I thought like, okay, you know what the heck, why not? We'll give it a go, and it served its purpose for us at least. For them, it got content, got a lot of laughs, got a lot of engagement. For us, it got us a couple of hundred new followers, got us some new people we're working with, new creative opportunities. So I'd say overall, it was definitely a positive experience. And for entertainment value, guys, yeah, definitely check it out. Again, this will be the worst that you will ever experience in cold approach. Keep that in mind, and then realize, hey, it's actually It's actually not that hard. Again, they don't show the actual successes because it's just not that entertaining.
Yeah, it's so funny because Brandon, he got like 2, 3 numbers. That guy got a number because we coached him a little bit. So everyone had success on it, but they
I
just
got some
reamed us
numbers
like,
behind the scenes. They didn't put that footage in there. So
"Bruh."
they had like a whole
Oh
camera
man.
crew on us. They were filming for the entire day. We started off in their studio, sat down, went out in the field, probably spent 4, 5, 6 hours in the field. So what you see is just really a 20, 25 minute sizzle type reel. And then there's some commentary at the end to get people fired up in the chat, which they successfully did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they reamed us, bro. But I love it. You know what they say, like no publicity is bad publicity. So we will gladly accept it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I actually had some girls track me down from the video. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna come into my DMs. And I don't know if the guys listed us in the description, like our direct contact info, like on Instagram or whatnot. But I had a girl track me down, super motivated, gorgeous, exactly what I always look for in a girl. So we're going out on Friday. We'll see how that goes.
there we go. Well, at least you had a girl. Apparently they call me gay a bunch in the live in the
I mean, you
videos.
are.
Yeah, my girlfriend's just a total ruse, right? She's
Yeah,
not real.
yeah.
She's
You guys have
hired.
been together for what, almost a year now,
eight
right?
8 months, yeah, coming up on 8.
Nice.
So it's been great. Yeah, and we met at a park in Mexico actually. So there's a video on our
Here,
channel
where it was
where I
filmed.
approached her. Yep, and it's so funny because Jaron was actually he was filming me. It was like the first day we went and did live infield. So like she had no idea too. So on our I think maybe third date, I told her and I showed her the video, and she's like, "Oh my god!" Like she was cringing a bit, but I mean, she thought it was cute too. But we tell the story to like I visited her family. Her uncle had a fiesta, her like an 80s second birthday or something. So it was the first Mexican party I've been to, and there was
Those are
like
fun, aren't they?
70 Mexicans, and they're all dancing the whole time. And
Did
they're
you
like,
dance?
"Oh." I did, yeah. The grandma pulled me up. We got on video. They're all
I always
cheering.
tell guys that are new to Mexican parties, dance with grandma, because a lot of guys will say it's a
Yeah,
patriarchal or more of a machista culture, which it could be to a degree. But I went to school down here 20 years ago. Grandma, like when the older generation sitting at the table, grandma kind of runs the show. And learning that down here, I took that back to my family because my grandpa was the alpha type, pioneer, just ass kicker of business. But in the family situations, my grandma just kind of quietly held everything together. So there you go, busting a move, cutting a rug.
right. I had to do some like Asian robot to because they're like, I'm terrible at salsa and bachata and all that. So yeah, that's her dad. And like, so
They,
yeah, you
they
see
always, they
like
always say like white guys can't dance. I'm sure Asians fall into that category, although we get into good
totally, bro.
colleges, so I guess we're good there. So I just own the fact I can't dance, and people are like, "Oh, you have no rhythm." But I was informed them I am a musician for whatever reason I can play, and even as a kid I'd play bass or I'd keep time a lot of the times, but just there's no coordination between the bodily movements or the music that's being played at these fiestas, which kind of leads me into the gym type thing. I always say that for my body type, I'm kind of bigger. I'm about as wide as I am tall. I can hold mass really well. I know that you're more of a lean gainer, but there's
Hmm.
two types of bodies. There's those that move gracefully through space. That's not me. There are
Hmm.
those that can stay stationary and manipulate other objects through space. So putting up heavy weight, I was good at baseball. I was good at football. I was okay at wrestling. I was a heavyweight, so I'd have to wrestle guys 100 pounds over my weight, and they just sit on me and flatten me like a pancake.
Hmm. Yeah, you and I are definitely opposite in that regard. But yeah, it was a cool experience. And I think, back to the cold approach thing, like the family was like, "How'd you guys meet?" And then we told her and they all thought it was funny. So, like we said with the Proyecto thing, like everyone's giving us shit, like we're bad. But as you can see, like I'm hanging out with like 60 Mexicans and we're having a blast. So it's like, you can definitely fit in. And I think, there's going to be keyboard warriors wherever you go. Like, I mean, imagine if we were like, had a
I get it
million
far I get
subscribers,
it
right?
far worse in my own country. I've been on podcasts in multiple languages in multiple countries. The US always gives it to you worse.
Hmm. Yep. They, yeah, they'll bring me anywhere. I mean, even Tony Robbins, who's like an influential changer, he probably gets millions of hate comments. So we don't take it personal. It was a really
I have
super
friends
fun
that work for
experience.
him. Yeah, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of
Tony's
which,
the goat.
Tony's the
Yeah,
goat.
Joel, are
I
you?
am I am not even close. But I will say this: I hired a Spanish coach and slash English coach this week actually. So on Saturday we're going to start the lessons, and he actually is coming to our apartment. So it's really nice. So we're going to do 45 minutes in Spanish and then 45 minutes with my girlfriend in English. So it was like 450 pesos for an hour and a half, dude. It's like, it's an
Mhm.
incredible deal. So yeah, we're getting
Yeah,
into it. I
and
can speak
that's
quite
a good
about
way to
it.
get ahead. I think a lot of people they think learning wise they can go at their own pace. A lot of people just aren't gifted with languages, or the problem is that you say, okay, I want to learn anything in life. I want to learn a new thing, but you don't have a structure, you don't have a methodology, you don't have a framework. So I learned this with
Mhm.
singing. You know, I was decent at singing for years, but I hired a professional coach, and she took me to the next level to now where I get invited to studio sessions with people that I consider professional. Then I realize, oh, not only am I not bad, I'm actually okay. You know, I can
Mhm.
hang at this new level. Does take a bit of a time commitment. You do have to be disciplined, just like the gym, just like dating, just like looking for a job,
Exactly.
just like business. It's the key to
Yep.
success at any endeavor in life. But I'm glad you're taking that next step. It'll allow
Thanks,
you
man.
to delve into a deeper layer of the culture, and then especially with your girlfriend. I know she's learning English as well. And what usually happens in intercultural relationships, you'll start to meet each other halfway. But
Mhm.
with the extended family, you definitely want to make sure that you get in nice with the family. That's a key cultural
Mhm.
element here.
Yeah, 100%, Jay. I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm making a video this week that'll be coming out probably Sunday. That's like, do you need to know Spanish in Mexico? The answer is yes and no, and I'm going to dive into that in the video. I have like a pair of translation earbuds. They're pretty nice. They're like $300, and they work fine. But we actually find it's funny enough, Jaron. Like, I can speak okay Spanish now, like basic conversational. Like I can say
Mhm.
things like present tense,
Yep, there's
some past
levels.
tense. And so we actually find that even though I can't speak as well, we just default to talking in Spanish, like to the best I can, right? And then if she has
Mhm.
to translate, she can. But translation earbuds, they're
I know, and what you
they're
kind of
so
have
so.
to do is you have to force yourself. So I learned it like 20 years ago when I actually lived down here. I went to a university program. It was required, and there was no internet. There was internet, but Google didn't even exist yet, or it existed, but it was like search engine number 8. They back in the Ask Jeeves and the Mama and the GeoCities type days. So I'm definitely dating myself here.
Oh man,
No smartphones at all. Really not much of a foreign influence. The world was still largely kind of isolated at that time. Now we have multinational global corporations. That's what I do for a living. That's, why I came back, because I'd had that experience before 20 years ago. But I look back in my days, I'm thankful at the fact that I did not have that crutch like the internet or the translating headphones. And eventually we will segue this into the gym. Same thing in the gym. It's really easy. You'll get a lot of guys that are very new at this. Oh, what pill do I take, or what supplement stack do I take? And these things will help, but at the end of the day, you have to get under the bar, put heavy weight on it, pick it up, put it down, do it again, and then do that for years, every single day. And that's how you get meaningful progress at, again, any endeavor that you seek in life.
dude, exactly, man. I think that's a great segue because we both been on T. You got me on T, and even being on T, like I've been I only recently started bulking again, and I haven't really gained that much being on T, right? So people think like, oh, you're gonna get on T and you're just gonna get jacked from sleeping. It's like,
That's a
no, dude, you got to
misnomer.
be,
A lot of people
yep,
think that.
you got to be grinding. So anyway, guys, time for the gym talk. So yeah, I've had three bulks in my life. One was with you when I first came down, which was sick. I gained 10 kilos in 2 months. That
That
was
was your
dirty.
first one, right?
Second one. So
The
first one
second
was
one.
right
You're
out of high school. So it was my freshman year of after my freshman year of college, and I'd run cross country. So I was like 140 pounds my whole life, and then I trained with my
yeah.
buddy who played football, and we did 2 workouts a day. I ate all day, tons of mass gainers, and I went up to like 160 from like 140. So that was a huge leap up.
Mhm.
But started doing drugs and other activities, so stop that.
Check out Sobriety University, Joel's other channel.
Right. And then when I came and then I went on keto for like 3.5 years. So I thought I was in good shape for keto, but I wasn't like big at all. So when I came down, you're like, dude, you should
Mhm.
do a bulk. And I just remember John was his name. He was my buddy from high school. And I just remember how fun it was, like just dedicating yourself, going to the gym every day with a friend, pushing yourself to like extreme limits. So as soon as he suggested it, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. And then gained a bunch of weight. So we're a few years out of that. And I think I was like, it's time to like start to put on some weight again. Kind
Mhm.
of doing okay with money now, doing okay with my relationships. So I'm like, what else is there to do but like lift weights and eat?
Yeah, everything's
Really.
kind of working out for you. I think you've been here for a little while now. So I was talking to someone yesterday about this, that anytime you move anywhere, even within your own country, it takes a little while to get acculturated. Okay, what's my scene? Who are my friends? What restaurants do I go to? What gym do I go to? What is my routine? It takes there's a bit of a lag time there. Kudos to you for getting serious in the gym. I know for guys like you, I was the opposite. I was what's called an endomorph for guys that are in the know in terms of these types of gym terms. I'm more of an endomorph, so I was very, very heavy as a kid. I'm on a deficit now, but I'm training heavier and harder. So I'm not gaining weight. I'm doing more of a recomp. But that's how I'm built. You're the opposite. You're more of an ectomorph. So that's why you were probably good at cross country. I was terrible. I had like 20-minute miles when I was in elementary school, 12-minute miles. I think my record mile is probably 7 minutes flat. And that's when I was in tip top shape. I played baseball down here in Mexico, like 20 some odd years ago too. So I wasn't even on the field running infield, outfield. The coach just had me running poles. He's like, you need to lose weight, you need to be quicker on your feet, higher altitude in Mexico City. I was in Guadalajara at the time. So different considerations for different body types. But whether it be for general health or aesthetics or wanting to look jacked, a lot of guys get into it. I did too. I just wanted to lose the weight. I didn't want to be fat. Then I realized, okay, well now I'm skinny fat. So I started lifting with my body type and proper nutrition and proper training, put on a lot of muscle very quickly. And for a while, I'll be honest, it was more so aesthetics. I want to look good. It'll help me get the girls and it'll help me get business opportunities or help me with sales and marketing. And all of that is true. However, you're doing it for the wrong reason. So I think I've seen that in your
Mm,
evolution too. Now I just stay fit for me. My goal is to
yeah.
age gracefully. That works really well. So if I'm too muscle bound, actually, and I've done this before to where, hey, I can pack on the muscle. I got up to, I think, 236. I was working a project in Houston, Texas for a while. And the Texas boys are big boys. I was just in Dallas a couple weeks ago. It looks like I might have to go back to Dallas here in a couple weeks for a work gig. And Texas, and them Southern boys are big, them corn-fed boys. And so I fell into it. I was like, hey, I'm big and strong too. But I'd walk up 2 flights of stairs in August in Houston, humid, swampy weather, heart beating out of my chest, sweat pouring down my face, and realize that this isn't going to work. I can actually stick on a caloric deficit. I don't have to ego lift anymore. I got to the point to where my muscle was stronger than my connective tissue. So I've never torn a muscle in my life, but ligaments would start getting strained, and that really affects my mobility, which makes me less impactful at work, which gets in the ways of other goals in life. So now for me, it's just age gracefully and just maintain
Mhm.
health and then optimize health. So I see some guys in the chat. It looks like you guys are going down that road too, whether it's TRT injections, whether it's the cream, whether it's just cleaning up your diet, hiring a nutritionist, hiring a fitness trainer, whatever it takes, do it for you. And then just find that Goldilocks zone, that optimal health range that you want to be in. We do our bloods routinely too. We're high advocates of that in our community. So you'll get guys will say, "Oh, you're on T, you're cheating, you're on steroids," but I never go above physiological levels
Mhm.
because that can induce other negative consequences, and that is not cohesive with my goal set of aging gracefully and just living optimally.
Yeah, you nailed it, Jaron. I'm 100%. I'm same with you. Like if I go over like 100, I start getting acne. Back acne was on my last like big cycle, and really a really important point you touched on there is that at some point you have to do it for you. So I agree. I think when you're first starting to really get into fitness, doing it for that aesthetic and to get attention from girls, to get approval, I think that's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We've all been through it. When you're not in shape and you get in shape, it does change the way people look at you and treat you and respect
Absolutely.
you. But after a few cycles or once you've been in it for a while, we've been working out for a long time, you really have to have that internal motivation. It can't be external anymore. And the external just doesn't work because you realize no one really gives a shit if you're jacked
Yep.
or if you're skinny. So for me now, that's exactly it. Like I like the challenge. Like it's exciting now to go to the gym. The big key for me is tracking, which is something I was so lazy on doing. But
I used
and
to
you,
get on your
you
ass for that. You're like, oh no, like, what are your macros for the day? How many calories have you had? Oh, I don't know. And then why am I not gaining weight? And to your point, anytime you introduce a new stimuli into the process, so your first bulk, whether it's assisted, unassisted, clean or dirty, you will gain muscle if it's the first time you've ever done it. I always tell guys, try to stay off the sauce if you can at that point, because you don't know enough about the gym. You
Mm,
don't know enough about your physique. You will get what's called newbie gains, which are far more powerful than any pharmaceutical assistance. So definitely lean to those newbie gains. I saw the bulk you did with me, 10 kilos in a few months.
Two
That was
months.
indicative.
Yeah.
I think that's about my first bulk too. I put on like 30 pounds in a handful of months, and then I went dirty. So half of it was fat. So I had to take it off, and it was not the most efficient cut. So I lost a lot of that new
Hmm.
muscle mass. And then you go back and forth, bulk cut, bulk cut, bulk cut. And then as you get into it, like for me, I'm at the point now, I'll put on a couple pounds around Christmas. I don't go overboard like I used to, but I'll have a piece of cake, or I'll have a cookie, or I'll have whatever
Hmm.
full fat food is being cooked, or some sweets. So I'll come back in the new year a couple pounds up, but I'm on a very slow cut now. I think I'm 2 kilos away. I have a month ago. That's roughly half a pound, half a pound a week. That's 1250 caloric deficit per week, or 250 a
Hmm.
day. That's very easy to do. 250 a day Monday through Friday. I do like cyclical carb cycling, all that stuff, more advanced stuff, but very easy to do. So guys, really, if you want help on that, feel free to reach out to us. It's one of the many things that we can help you out with. Really, just how to put together a diet plan, how to track your macros, where are you at, where do you want to go, how quickly do you want to do it, how much of a risk do you want to take. I advocate treating your body well. Our bodies are temples, so don't put a bunch of stuff in it that's unnecessary. Nothing beats just hard work, consistency, discipline, clean diet, and that's how you'll get there.
Yeah, man. Definitely mirror what you say there. And like, I think the key too, like you taught me this, is like you want to set a new baseline. Like that's the key with the bulk.
Yes.
So my new baseline from working with you when we started is 165 in pounds. Yeah, 165, obviously. 165
I
kilos, my base.
I haven't used pounds forever. When I go home, oh my God, I'm at 90 kilos. I'm a bit up. My siblings like kilos. I'm like, well, I only weigh myself in kilos. That's what the scale at the gym is in.
I still use pounds. Like I'm just trained for
Yeah.
pounds. So even if we weigh in kilos and then I convert to
I
pounds.
can do the conversions, I'm within a very narrow range now. So when I'm cut, I'm down to 84 kilos, or about 183, 184, 185 pounds would be the equivalency. But if I go any lower, I actually get sick. I start having health problems. Anything above 90 kilos, or well, that would be roughly like low 200 pounds. Then in my mind, okay, it's time to cut.
Yeah. And so yeah, like my base right now is 165, and that's like if I'm fasted, if I'm on keto, like so that's good because my baseline before was like 155. Now I want my baseline to be 175. So I weighed in the other day, I was at 172.8, which is the most
Mhm.
I've ever weighed, which is kind of sick. So I'm right on that cusp of territory of like looking big, and I'm excited for that
Mhm.
because I've always been like I'm a skinny guy by nature. So yeah, to be like 175 shredded for me, that's my goal right now. And I'm curious. I had a couple questions for you actually,
Oh yeah, I had
Coach.
a couple for you too. Are you on a dirty or clean bulk?
That was one of my questions. What do you
Yep.
recommend? Because it's hard because as I'm training more and lifting heavier, I just want more food. I want more carbs. I want some sugars. But my mind is still trained to like eating healthy, like obviously like this yesterday I cooked for myself. This morning I made 4 eggs with like onions, and peppers and stuff. But like I really want a burger tonight. I want to go to like Chicago Bernie's and get like a
Mhm.
4 layer burger and just destroy it, and then get like a donut or something. So what is your recommendation on like finding that balance between clean and dirty?
I'll go back to body types. For me, I've done it all. I've done every diet, whatever. I've done dirty bulks. For me personally, that means I'll gain a ton of. You'll gain weight a lot quicker if you do dirty bulk, because
Mm,
in this case, it comes down to thermodynamics. So I always say it's a calorie equation, or it's a calorie question, especially for hard gainers or guys that are more ectomorphic or naturally skinny guys. If you're trying to create a new baseline, you're trying to move your baseline up. Again, I'm the opposite personally. I'm trying to bring my baseline down. So you almost have to eat to the point where you're uncomfortable. So you could go
mm,
clean, but it's really, really hard to be in a severe caloric surplus with rice and chicken breast and egg whites and salad and fruits. That's what I do on
it's
a cut. But
exhausting.
again, I'm trying to bring my baseline down, or I'm trying to get back
Yeah.
to baseline. You're trying to you're trying to increase your baseline, and the human body likes homeostasis, so it will keep
Mhm.
you where your baseline is. So if you find that
Mm.
you're plateauing, and you'll notice this in the gym too, as you put on more weight, as you put on more muscle mass, your strength should go up too. Your cardio might be a bit impacted, so you'll have to come to that decision where, okay, I'm getting stronger, but I'm gassing out a lot quicker. I need more rest time between sets in my case, and gassing out,
Mm.
walking up 2 flights of stairs to my apartment with a full thing of groceries. Okay, yeah, I can deadlift 500 pounds, squat 400, bench 300, but I can't carry groceries up the stairs without having a damn heart attack. So those are questions you have to ask yourself when you get there. I'd say just to get
Okay.
started, go more on the dirty side. Have your burger tonight, have your donuts, have your ice cream, have whatever. But if you get to the point where your skin's getting really crappy, where your sleep's being impacted, where your cardio's given
Mm,
out, so you can't push those extra reps in whatever your training regimen looks like, then that might be where you have to dial it back in a bit. Or what I
okay.
do again, I'm naturally heavier, so I have to trick my body into bringing that baseline down. For me, it's you do introduce more advanced type principles like your targeted cyclical keto or your carb cycling. I did fitness modeling for a few years when I lived in California, and I'd come to these conclusions on my own. But then when you ask other people that are just in really good like fitness model type shape, they usually introduce these types of tools. So if
Mm,
you're the night before a leg day, maybe veg out a bit, have your pizza, have your donuts, have your ice cream, have your cake, have your whatever, hit your lagging body parts tomorrow. And if there's a day where, okay, I don't really need to touch this body part, for me, like my back is naturally big, I can train back on a deficit and it'll still just butterfly shrimp out. So I don't really have to worry about that. But for my lagging
mm,
parts, I'll train those after a day where I do more of a caloric surplus. So I'm in a cut right now. I'll have caloric surpluses on a couple days of the week. And then on the other days, it is in a severe caloric deficiency. And otherwise for me, that if I'm always deficit, then your body wants homeostasis, so it will down regulate your metabolism. You're trying to go the other way, you're trying to push it into new territory, and then once you get there you want to hold those new gains for a while. So I'd recommend, for you, you're leaner, you probably won't put on 50 to 50 in terms of lean muscle mass and fat. Maybe you'll gain 75% lean muscle mass to 25% fat. Also, you want to keep in mind that when you're going more carbs, when you're going dirtier, you will have fluid retention. So a lot of guys mistake that for, oh no, I gained all this body fat. I've done that in my bulks. My first bulk, I gained 30 pounds. I estimated roughly 50% of it was fat, but the minute I cleaned up the diet, immediately all that water came off. I call it slop now. So I'll just sodium and sugar and fluid retention and inflammation. A lot of times if you eat dirty, that's
mm.
inflammatory too. So in my head, I just call that slop. At the end of the day, really, it's just, additional retention, not necessarily body fat. And if you want to take it to the next
Yeah.
level, I've worked with guys, and I did this too, to really get my numbers down pat, do DEXA scans, because that'll give you a very accurate portrait of what you're working with from like more of a metabolic systematic standpoint.
Yeah, that's great, man. It's I know a lot of it is water weight for sure because the other day, like yesterday, I ate super clean. This morning I had a super clean meal, and at the gym I was 2 kilos down. And
Mhm.
obviously I'm like, okay, that was all water weight. Like, so the 78 kilos, guys, is not muscle yet. It's definitely still like a lot of water. But I think, like you said, tracking my lifts, getting stronger, because every time I am lifting more and I'm making sure, like, even if I can't do all the reps, just like add more weight to the bar or to the machine
Mhm.
or whatever. And I think over time that's going to, yeah, yield the gains. We are getting some funny comments. Do you see me
Yeah.
trolling back? Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
You get trolls
gotta
every
love
now
it.
and then.
Oh yeah, you guys are great. You make the stream funny. So we
Mhm.
appreciate you. Um,
Although
but
on that topic, the supplemental assistance that this troll is suggesting, it's funny because I've actually dated girls who are like, oh, it's really good for your skin, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, sure, go ahead. If that, if that gets me more action, might as well go along with that. I honestly, I know we're being trolled, but honestly, I don't know the answer to that one. If that works for you, go for it.
yeah,
I'm a pragmatist at the end of the day, so if that works, then do it. I think
I
there are
use
some
my
legit comments.
semen actually. So
Is
secret.
that
Use your
the
own
secret for
semen,
the
dude.
is that the secret
Yeah,
for the Asian skin?
it is. Yes, we just rub our face in semen, our
Do you
own
have it
semen
land
every
on your
morning.
belly first and then you smear it on your face, or are you like that precise like you are with your piano and violin? When I first met Joel, I asked him piano or violin. He's like, wait for it, both. So I knew
Uh,
we were going to be friends. Or are you precise like instruments? You just land it right it needs to go.
yep. It's definitely, you get 8.57% more if you aim right to the face, but if it goes in the
Yeah,
stomach, it still works. Yep. So
yeah,
if
because it'll
anyone's
oxidize with the increased airtime, right? So you want it direct from the
exactly,
source.
yes, it
Okay,
needs to
yeah.
be. Yep. Yep. Every second counts.
All right,
Love
we
it.
jest, and I always say, guys, if you want to
What the
play around,
actual
go ahead. I
what the
worked on a
actual fuck?
radio station as a kid, and I was a bit of a I was a bit of a
Troll.
I don't yeah, I was a bit of a troll too. So I'd call into radio stations. So I always say if you're gonna troll, like make it good. But I've been on live podcasts when I used to go on bigger channels and in adjacent spaces of this type of content. People would get on and just be dead air. I'm like, come on, man. Like when you're on the radio, no dead air. You gotta if you're gonna go, you gotta go. So appreciate the interaction. That'll give us more of a boost in the algorithm. That's the name of the game, as you guys know that have been following us for dating. It's the same thing with marketing, same thing. You're getting a channel out there. So these are
Yep.
signals, is what we call them. So YouTube doesn't know the difference. Yeah, let's get some of these ones up there.
Yeah, we know William. He's been commenting a lot. So yeah, good to have you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. So I got a trainer 4 months ago, and at 33 years old, I finally started to figure out what I've been failing. Not tracking since I wasn't getting enough protein in and not progressive. And yeah, kind of what we were talking about, right? Got to be getting your progressive overloads, tracking your lifts. And then a big one, I actually asked ChatGPT today. It's like you could have the burger tonight. So like binge out, have a donut, but balance it with protein. So maybe have a protein shake after. And I think that's the mistake I made in the past, where if I had a cheat day, I would like be like skimp out on protein and eat more like pasta, carbs, fatty pizza, whatever it might be. And I wouldn't have my protein. So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? Like, is that pretty important to have enough
Yeah,
protein?
always hit your protein. So when you first get started, a lot of times, and I say this with leaner guys, it's more of a calorie equation. So really, you just want to work on just hitting your numbers thermogenically, which is again that calorie equation. But when you want to take it to the next level in terms of okay, well, I'm putting scale weight on, but I'm looking kind of flabby, I'm looking kind of bloated. That's where you take it a step further and you look at your macronutrient breakdown. So when you start getting to that level of where you're looking at your macros, a trainer told me years ago, and friends of mine would tell me, guys were way more advanced than me at the time, would tell me start with protein. So the way I structure my meals, I do OMAD, 1 meal a day. That's intermittent fasting. It's a part of the intermittent fasting protocol. 1 meal a day. I track all my meals when I'm in a cut, when I'm on maintenance. Like your body gets a feel for it, and you'll realize most of your meals are pretty close, or they have different ingredients, but the preparation method changes. Then you have to get really creative with your seasonings. But when you get into macronutrition, you want to start with protein. Make sure you're always hitting your numbers with protein, and then you fill in the rest of the calories with the combination of fat and protein. That depends on your
Mm,
goals. So if you're cutting or you want to have less fluid retention, maybe look a little more little leaner, then you'll lean more towards the fat to fill in the rest of those calories. However, if you want volume, size, strength, but you might be a little more bloated, have a little more fluid retention, not look as jacked or ripped, so to speak, then you'll lean more
mm,
towards the carbohydrate side of the equation. And if you're in the gym, if you're trying to gain weight and you're like, hey, okay, I do look a little soft, that's absolutely fine. Look at pro bodybuilders when they're in the off season. A lot of them have huge guts. A lot of them bulk really dirty because when you're lean most of the year, I'm lean probably 8, 9 months of the year. I have visible abs. I do take a bit of time off in the winter time. I don't go crazy like I used to because I don't want to do aggressive cuts. Those aren't really fun. It's fun to get big. It's fun every single day you get into the gym. You're just a little stronger. You get to eat whatever you want. You're just a little more muscular. You have more volume. You're watching the scale go up. That's really fun. But when you're cutting, you're like, oh no, salad, chicken, rice again. How do I cook this in a way that's creative so I don't get bored of this blandness? So you get really good at seasoning
mm.
and spices. I never knew how to cook Indian food or Thai food or Greek food or Italian food, but now I do because my diet consists literally when I do my in Mexico dispensa, or when I do my pantry or my food prep on Sunday, it's the same cart, it's the same store. I order the same thing. I'm gonna eat the same thing in the week, but the preparation method changes. So you can add a little flair to your diet there. But when with the leaner guys, you want to just push that scale weight up. So do whatever it takes within reason. If you have to go get a bit dirty, go ahead
Mm.
and do it. But you will get to a point where you'll stall out too. So
Okay.
that's where guys will get. That's where you personally, I don't follow this, but that's where guys want to go into supra physiological supplementation, pharmaceutical supplementation, aka roids. So a lot of us are on TRT, but we do have endocrinologists. We do check our bloods. Everything is optimal. Everything is in range. So yes, it is an exogenous source of testosterone, but it's not necessarily cycling like these professional bodybuilders do. And I've worked with a lot of these guys. I've trained with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are my friends. They'll have like liver failure or renal failure or insulin sensitivity issues, or depending upon the supplements, their heart will be enlarged. So if you want to go down that path, that's fine. I don't advocate that, but you want to optimize for what you have. So whatever it takes, whether you're natty, whether you're on TRT, you will stall out, you will hit a plateau. That's when you'll have this other question. Okay, do I want to go to the dark side, is what they used to call it in the forums, or okay, this is great. This might be my new baseline and my new max from a muscularity standpoint. Now let's go ahead and cut, lean it out without losing muscle mass. And you might lose a bit of muscle mass on your cut, and then you'll have to do a lean bulk again. You'll go back and forth. And then eventually, you, especially when you're tracking everything, log all your lifts too, because now you have data you can work with. So you can start with a forum, you can start with a YouTube influencer and be like, okay, I want to follow this guy's methodology. But when you track it, you know exactly what happens. And then you can look back retrospectively and say, okay, here are the lessons learned here. Now for the next cycle, how do I make it more efficient? How do I make it less painful? How do I make it easier? How do I make it to where I have bigger results for less effort? And then you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, bulk cut, bulk cut, bulk cut. And eventually you get to the point where you're like, okay, here it is. Here's my optimal level. And then maintenance is super easy. When I'm on maintenance most of the year, I've got my baseline to where I want it to be. Super easy. It's just becomes a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, that's exactly my plan too. Like as soon as I start to reach that, kind of max, and it's usually at like 2, 3 months, then I'm going to start scaling back because I prefer to fast every day, but you just can't fast when you're bulking. I feel way better, energy's
Yeah.
better, but I got to be eating pretty much all day, whether it's a protein shake, whether it's making eggs, and then dinner, like making a big dinner. Um, so yeah, I think those are some great nuggets on,
And
bulking and lifting and stuff.
maybe for you throughout the day, because when you go dirty, it will affect your cognition. It will make you a bit groggy. It'll make you not as focused. So maybe
Yeah.
during the day, as it correlates to whatever your work schedule looks like, stay clean. So if you're doing 6 meals a day, do 5 of them clean, and then have that cheat meal at the end of the night, just to make
Okay.
sure again you're in that caloric surplus. Because it is really hard to be in a surplus when you're eating 100% clean. So go 80%
Bro.
clean, and if
Okay.
if you don't like how you feel, maybe go 90% clean. Or, you know, here's to you. If you can eat 2 kilos of chicken breast a day, you're still going to be in a caloric deficit because chicken breast has no
Dude.
calories in it. It's all
Oh, that's
protein.
crazy.
If you can do it clean, go for it. But it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort. So maybe stay clean during your work hours. Once the sun goes down, yeah, have that pizza, have that
Okay,
burger.
cool. Thanks, coach. I
Yeah.
I can lean into my this donut will
Yeah.
be on you tonight. So no, I appreciate it because I'm someone too that's like had unhealthy relationships with food. So like food addiction, being really OCD with what I'm eating, and it's been a hard balance to find. Being able to eat without feeling guilt sometimes. So even like having like a juice, sometimes like, oh my god, I had a juice. That's fructose. It's going to turn into fat, and I'll kind of go into a rabbit hole. So I think giving myself permission to eat clean like you said 80% of the day, and then at night if I want to have that burger or anything unhealthy, like
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah.
I'm going like more not like lower inflammation on this cut. So I'm doing more fruits to get my carbs, which for me it bloats me a bit because like fructose has to stay in the liver. But I'm in a severe caloric deficit. So when it comes time, I make my first music festival this season. My official cut in date. So when I was in California, it was Coachella and or Stagecoach, whichever one came first. They're both in the Empire Polo Grounds. They're in Indio, California. And yes, India was the name of California. Years ago, I was on a stream. I was like, "Oh, the Tijuana Cholos," and someone's like, "How offensive you said Cholos?" I'm like, "That's the name of their soccer team. Like it's Cholo Escuincle. It's the hairless dog. Like, oldest breed of dog. I think that we believed to be known to man. Actually, yeah, comes from here. But yeah, definitely. Have a target goal. Know where you're at. Know where you want to go. Have a decent roadmap for how you get there. If you're early in the process, tracking does help because you have data points, and then you can adjust from there. And it's like marketing. It's like dating. It's just multiple mini experiments, and then eventually you find what works, and you're like, aha, and then you just dial in, and then you stay there consistently at the point where I'm actually glad you brought up the topic. I haven't talked about this in years because for me it's kind of boring. I went through this process of figuring it out years ago, and then now it's just up. It's the first week after the new year. Yep, got 5 kilos on me. Need to be jacked for EDC. So I've
Mm,
got 8 weeks to cut.
yeah. I love that, man. And speaking of events, there's a big one coming up in Mexico City.
Oh, look at that segue. Look
Yeah.
at
Thanks.
that.
Learn from the
Yeah,
best. So
yeah.
yeah, anyway, we'll wrap up the fitness talk, dude. Super appreciate talking about it. There's great stuff, and we can do other fitness podcasts alone. But moving forward here, we will talk about the World Cup 2026, man. That's freaking crazy, dude. It's in Mexico City, which is, first off, it's going to be a shit show. I'm just gonna say that right.
Well,
It
you
is going
traveled
to be
you traveled
crazy.
recently. Have you noticed that they're just now starting to redo the airport and normal operations? So it was already an older airport. Years ago, this was a political topic here in terms of like the airport or transportation networks. But when you go through the airport, it's already kind of small, which you know it's older. It was built when people didn't realize that 30 million people were going to be coming in and out of this city, or it was going to be a major
Oh
cosmopolitan
God.
global metropolis. But yeah, the last couple of times I've traveled, the airport's all torn up, and it's like, oh no, they're just now starting. And that's not a Mexico thing. I've seen YouTube videos where California is actually not going to be ready. Mexico might procrastinate, but they will be ready for it. It's gonna draw a lot of international attention. The city's already on the radar internationally. That's, you know, going back to the Proyecto Escolar. That's why a lot of people are mad, because when you have Formula One, when you get all the big tours, when you have the NFL, MLB coming down here, now FIFA, the World Cup's going to be here, it's going to draw attention, and that's going to bring capital, and that's going to bring money. And I was
Mm.
talking to a girl yesterday on that term. It's like, really, you know, maybe there's an identity crisis here culturally, that okay, we want to be taken seriously on the world stage, but that's going to bring international people. Or if you don't want to grow, but that's something that people locally kind of have to figure out. And I say that having lived in California for 10 years, I experienced some of the same stuff when it started becoming more internationalized. Global tech companies are all based in California. They were, a lot of them are leaving now. And AMSUDS, to your comment, we don't really get political on this channel. I do like to talk intercultural considerations. I think those are interesting topics in terms of coming to a point of shared understanding, and, you know, being good neighbors and being a good host and being a good guest. You know, although I'm a resident and I have the option of naturalizing this year, you know, I'll always be seen as a guest. It's not my homeland. If, you know, go to the video that we open the show with, you'll see the comments. They'll make that very clear. You're not from here, even if legally you are from here. It's funny you can't say that in the U.S. though, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Mexico City on the up and up on the world stage. I know they usually do it annually. The MLB has this a weekend series here. I normally go to that one. I played baseball down here, so I'm not a gambler by any means. I think that's a waste of time. I'd rather be like a conservative, more fiscally responsible investor. That works over the long term. But I always tell buddies that are sports bettors, like they're gonna have like 12 home runs. Like, no, dude, no way. That's preposterous. And it's the high altitude. When I played ball down here too, like, you know, when you get under the ball, you're like, damn it, oh, Texas league fly out. You know, I should have gotten a hold of that one. And then all of a sudden, people in the audience say, "Fly, say fly." I'm like, oh yeah, oh, home run, sweet. So it's funny watching the MLB players do that too. Like we have Denver, like, oh, Mile High City. Okay, cute Denver. We're a mile and a half here in Mexico City, so that ball flies, and the fields are a lot shorter here too, which is really fun. So it's just a home run fest.
Man, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, bro. I mean, honestly, it could backfire a little bit because if things, aren't smooth, which fortunately they probably won't be, I think, people might look, you know, negatively towards, the city, but, or, who knows? It could be great as well. And people might,
Me-
I just don't know.
Mexico will get it done. I know now, like yeah, Terminal One's terrible. I think I've flown 3 times in the last 2-3 months or so. It's worse every time you go through there. Like there's one line of customer service. You're there 3 hours early, 2 hours early, and if whether you're international or domestic for your flight, but there's one ticketing agent. For whatever reason, your apps don't work to do your check-in the night before, so you have to stand in line. Kiosks are all torn out. There's one family that's trying to buy their ticket at the counter, and the ticketing agent is not sending them to a kiosk where you actually do sales that are dedicated to sales, because those are all ripped down too. So it is a bit of an S show, but I think for Mexico, this will be a big source of pride for them. It'll give them even more international credence or credibility, so they will get it done. I'm laughing because I've lived in California for more than a decade. I know that California is going to screw it up. So, for those that don't know, it's like a North America or American continent version. So there's multiple locations of the World Cup throughout
Oh, really?
Mexico. Yeah, Mexico,
Oh,
U.S., and
interesting.
I think Canada too. I think it's like Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, California cities, Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, or something like that. I'm not a huge soccer fan, so guys that are really into that sport, correct me I'm wrong there, but I know it'll be really fun. I'm looking at tickets for some of the events. I'm thinking I might go to some of the more qualifier, lesser popular events. So like if it comes down to U.S.
Mexico,
Mexico,
Korea, baby. We're
yeah,
going
I'll
in.
go. I'll go to Mexico Korea one with
That'll
you.
be
Like
sick, man. That'll be sick.
Argentina versus Algeria. Like, yeah, I'll go to that one. Tickets are cheaper for that one. But what it's going to do, you're going to get people from all over the world here, and they're going to Mexico City. I always say, sometimes as North Americans, people have like negative perceptions of Mexico. That's why I say like when you live outside of your own country, try not to watch the news, try not to get political. I like to be in the know. So like these are things we'll talk about at our Friday night formal dinners, but like don't follow these mainstream media talking heads, whatever side of the aisle you're on, whatever country you're in, because it's engineered to piss you off and it's not giving you the full story. When you come down here and live it for yourself, you'll see too. Like again, going back to that video, you'll see the comments like 99% negative. But when you go out in real life, everyone's super nice, everyone's super hospitable. We have great
Yeah, it'll
friends
be
here. We have
good.
a great time. It's just a great place to live. And Mexico, one thing I think they do well is they're very proud. So they're going to make sure that it is a very good event. In general, Mexico as a country, but Mexico City more specifically, they do large events very well. You'll know we do EDC every year. We do music festivals. I go to all sorts of concerts. In terms of traffic getting in and out, this city, 30 million people in a small valley. So it's not a Mexico critique. It's just logistics. There's a lot of people that live here and a lot of cars and not a lot of roads because it's a 500+ year old city in a very small geographic footprint. Whereas in Houston just builds out. It's 120 miles to go across Houston. It's a mile
Mm,
between houses. It's ridiculous. But here they don't have the land because if you I don't know if you can see it, not with the sunlight, but we're constricted to a valley. There's mountains all around us here. So increased traffic, but despite the increased traffic, the logistics for getting people in and out, masses of people to these major world events that have international attention, they do that very, very well. And I think they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that World Cup is a hit. It is a major success in Mexico. I can't say I'm from the U.S. I know I can't say that for California. I think California is gonna screw the pooch on this one, but Mexico will shine, and good for them
mm.
as they should.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun event. I agree with you. Like they will get it done for sure. And yeah, like the airport stuff, man. That's gonna be interesting to see. I went home for this to the States earlier last month, so around December 15th. We had a 3 hour delay at midnight. So we didn't take off till 3 in the morning. And then on the way back, we had a layover in Denver, 4 hour delay, 3, 4 hour delay in Denver. I had bought like seats towards the front. We were in the very back, like not the back, like in the group in the back. We were in the very last seat. They broke my suitcase, and just you can't.
Oh,
This
did
is
you check
Valaris.
luggage?
Yep, and you can't contact customer service. They just don't have it. So I was
No,
just
yeah,
like,
any of those budget
yep.
airlines that they're not that good. I flew Volaris the last time too, and people in line were asking me like, why are they taking half an hour for someone to buy tickets and they don't have money? Why don't they send them to the ticketing booth? But again, because of the terminal reconstruction or restoration or remod, I think a
That's
lot of
what's
these
going on.
these amenities or facilities have been pulled out because I had an issue checking in with the app and they
Yeah,
wanted me to
same.
re-enter my passport information. So like, I'll just go to the kiosk, but the kiosk wasn't there. So I stood in the line. Thank God I had the foresight to get there early because I knew it was under construction because I had traveled just a couple weeks prior to that. And one agent for a giant line of people. And I'd ask like, hey, we've been in line for hours. Are we going to miss our flight? Oh, no, no, no. So sure enough, I guess
Mhm.
guess they'll hold the flight. So guys, if you're coming in and out of Mexico City in these months leading up to the World Cup, do take that into consideration. It's just because they're going to get international attention. They want things to look great. I know that there's been topics kind of locally, politically on what to do with that airport. They built another one in the north that connects lesser frequent routes or routes that are traveled with less frequency. It's a bit out of the way. There's one down in Toluca too. There's multiple airports, but still the main international one is the Benito Juarez here, the closest one to us.
Mhm.
Here in town, so it's under remod. I think it'll probably be stunning by the time World Cup comes around, and sometimes it does take that little kick in the ass that hey, we got the World Cup, we should probably actually redo our airport now because I know for years and years they're going back and forth. They're like, what do we do with this? There's increased traffic both domestically and international, and we need to get our travel infrastructure up to par. And I think they're going to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
the
man,
parties will be
we
nuts.
oh, the
That
parties
was
are
a
gonna be
comment.
sick. Yeah, you guys got to come down just for the parties. But yeah, didn't they like? they had tried to build like an airport like maybe 10, 15 years ago, and they put like $15 billion into it and they lost it all. Like they just didn't finish it. Do you know about that? Like when that happened?
Yeah, I remember that going around the news. Or I flew to Tulum a few months ago. And like airport's middle of nowhere. You see just dense jungle. These big, beautiful roads carved out. Huge airport. There's like four people going there because I think Tulum's like a Ibiza or Mykonos or one of those. They went the Las Vegas model that, hey, there's a bunch of hype around it. Let's invest a ton of money. And then pandemic happened and people aren't traveling as much. So there's just not a lot of traffic. When the plane was arriving on approach, I'm like, oh no, there's no way they can pay for this airport. Like, I don't know how they did
Mm.
it, but they're not making money on this.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, yeah, it'll be super interesting, guys. Also, shout out, homie. You're a cold approach guy with Quetzal. So this guy's a killer, man. He does like 20 approaches in a day. But
Yeah, and
so good to see you, man.
they didn't cover that on that. Going back to the opening of the show, that Proyecto Escolar little project we did. They were asking us, hey, do you work with people locally? Yes, we work with people locally. I think some of the comments mentioned that, oh, it's unfair. You guys charge in dollars. So even if we wanted to work with you, we can't afford you. We took that into consideration. We have various products at various price points, at various levels of coverage. If you want to move down, set up your entire life here, have us do it all for you. You just show up. Here's the keys to your new place. Great, let's go. That's going to be a higher price point than like, hey, you know what? I'm 95% of the way there. There's just a couple little hangups. I need some quick questions. Great lower price point. Or if you want to work here locally with a one-on-one coach group environment, we have something for everyone. So don't think that you're excluded from working with us if you want to. We definitely took that into consideration. So Quetzal is one of our local guys for guys that
Yeah.
prefer to work with the Spanish speaking coach, someone here locally that's actually from here as well.
Yeah, definitely, guy. And there are benefits of if you're a Mexican guy approaching with another Mexican guy, because there's going to be some cultural, similarities that you guys can relate to. But if you can't afford it, we help guys really quickly get their dating results, like so quickly that it's probably like hurting our own business. Just to be fair, but we don't really care. Like the money will come. We have our own. We're both in corporate, or you're in corporate. I'm in high ticket sales, so
I say with
we
my
make money
corporate
elsewhere.
clients too, that they'll hit me up. Oh, hey, FTE founding member role. I was like, you don't need me to be FTE. I can build the infrastructure for you, depending upon the scope of the project. I can do this one and done. Turn the keys. I'll bring people in, VAs, AI augmented or AI assisted, but a combination thereof. And then literally, I'll just hand you the keys. You can keep me on retainer if you want. You can hit me up on a short-term project basis if you want to iterate and take it to the next level. But that's one thing. And I always tell corporate people, I was like, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but you don't need me full time. So same with the coaching. You don't need 20 courses with us. You don't need to go out with us every day. You don't need a year of phone calls. Really, once you get out there and you do it and you're like, oh, hey, it's not as hard as I thought it would be. It's just me getting out of my own head. A big hang up a lot of our guys have is they don't know what they want. It's like, hey, what do you want? What do you want in life? Oh, I want to make more money. Oh, I want to be more fit. Oh, I want to be better with girls. Well, what does that look like specifically to you? I think a lot of guys they fail, or they lack motivation. A lot of guys come to us too. Guys have come to me in the gym. Like, I'll write you a diet plan. I'll put you on a macronutrient plan. I'll give you a flexible fitness and feeding framework. But if you want me to go to the gym with you and motivate you, that's not what we're here to do. There shouldn't be problems motivating. But once you identify that first issue of what do I actually want? What's realistically obtainable? How does this fit in with the overall image of where I want my life to be? Or how do I form this as part of my identity? Once you get that down and then you go out there, see how it's done and get a couple reps in, then you realize, oh, okay, you don't need motivation at that point. It's like, oh, now I can do it. Now I just have to keep doing it. I'll get better every time I do it. Then I'll get to the point where I never have to think about it again.
Literally never have to think about it. That's
It's just
exactly,
intuitive.
Darren. That's what we want to help you guys get to, where you're not like you don't have the anxiety, you're not thinking about it. Like we do it automatically. Like it's like it's like wiping our ass. It's like, cool, we'll go talk to that chick, right? But it did take us a lot of time to get there. And why we think it's so helpful to hire a coach. I mean, I've hired a coach. I
I hire
actually hired
coaches
Jaron
all
at
the
one
time.
point. Yep. I've had 4 dating coaches at this point in my life. And it's because they can just give you those shortcuts. Like they can help you get from A to Z way quicker than if you try to do it yourself. Because when I've tried to do it myself, it took years because I didn't have a coach and I was like watching YouTube videos or stuff. But when I actually had someone telling me what to do and saying, okay, actually, if you say this instead of this, you're going to have a 25% more effective chance at getting a date. Like those little nuggets, and that's what we teach you guys. That's going to make the big difference. And that's going to be what allows you to start getting dates week one. We had our buddy, we'll call him, well, what do we call him? Jimmy. He didn't want to be on camera, but
Jimmy, yeah, of course.
Jimmy, good old Jimmy. He was like so nervous, bro. Like it took him like an hour and a half to do his first one. He was going to throw up, and he got to actually, once he started doing it, because he was doing the right things and not being weird or needy or asking too many questions and being boring, he had a date the next 2 nights later with one of the girls he approached on day one. So that was him realizing like, and he's not like, a Chad or anything like that. He was a pretty normal guy, skinny fat, to be honest. But he got a girl way out of his league just because he did the right thing. So that's what we're going to teach you and help you reach to at a faster level than doing it by yourself.
Yeah, we'll help you get over those mental hangups too. So again, it was all tongue in cheek. It was mockumentary satirical style. If you check out that Proyecto Escolar video, but a lot of it was like, oh, well, I'm not tall enough or I'm not rich enough. One of the comments are like, I'm pesos, you're dollars, which is a really clever line. So any of these mental hangups will help you overcome those really quickly. And you might be surprised and you might not believe us until you actually do it, but you will see it that none of that matters. If it doesn't matter to you, it will not matter to them. It's really more about just your vibe, your energy, your overall demeanor. So if you're walking shoulders back, head held high, bright, shining smile, like, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? That type of attitude. There were a couple excerpts in that video too, where there are things they caught me out of context saying stuff like, oh, that guy's really arrogant. It's like, no, it's the mindset that you want to have. Like, hey, you know what? I'm a good option. I'm a cool guy. And you look pretty awesome too. Let's see if there's something here. And if not, great. Have a good day. Have a great life. It was regardless whether it's, oh, she turned me down. Oh, I'm a loser now. It's like, no, we had a positive interaction. I wasn't what she was looking for. She wasn't what I was looking for, but you don't know that until you put yourself out there. And to the coaching thing, guys, I've hired coaches on and off throughout my career in various aspects of my life. I've hired in the fitness thing. I hired like professional dietitians and nutritionists, and I hired a geneticist, an anti-aging specialist. I think someone earlier asked about looks maxing. Same with the weights thing. Like just because you look good, that doesn't mean that girls all of a sudden jump on you. It will get you more attention. It will help you out, but it's not an end all be all type thing. You still want to develop the skill set. You still want to make sure you have a well-rounded, multifaceted personality, that you're a good person in general, that you're comfortable in your own skin. I've been down that road too. We're like, oh, okay, I'm jacked now. I was literally doing fitness modeling in California. I'd go to these model parties in LA. These girls that for me, like as a kid, I'd look at in Sports Illustrated magazines. Again, I'm dating myself. These girls, I'm at these mansion parties in LA. They're interested in me, and I'm just because I didn't develop the skill set, or I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I still felt like I was a fat person, although I was going to photo shoots with girls that I could only dream about back when I was 100 pounds overweight, lonely in high school, getting rejected for prom dates. So hire coaches along the way.
Say, like, actually, the more some guys, like the better looking they are, the worse they do if they have bad game. Because
we've worked with those guys, and they get really depressed because like, I'm rich, I'm handsome, I have multiple residences in multiple countries, I have multiple passports, I have anything I want in every aspect of my life. I've worked with guys like literally like billionaire status, like a like with net worth with a capital B, like guys in Texas. And this guy told me one time, he said, I am the king of my industry, but my wife won't even look at me. She treats me like I'm dirt. And he eventually got himself out of that situation. He had to hire another coach more on the legal side. So I can tell you stories of what I've been through, of what our clients have been through, what Joel and I have learned together in this endeavor, but hire someone who's actually professional. So I know a lot of you guys recently been asking me about the remote job thing. And I've never really had trouble getting remote jobs. However, it would take too long. So like, okay, God, it's going to take me 6 to 8 months to get a remote job. Now it can take me a month or 2 or 3. There is a process, just like dating, just like gym. You'll have the mindset. You're like, okay, I have this new identity. Here's what I'm going to achieve. But in the gym, at least, usually it takes you at least 90 days, 30 days to form a new habit, 90 days to really lock it in, make it part of who you are. The job search is actually a longer lag time. So this last year, at the time, probably about April of last year or so, in the previous year, I had worked, I put in bids, consulting or creative or marketing bids for large potential clients, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, made it through, met C-level staff, like, and then in your head, we teach you guys not to do this in dating too, but it's hard not to sometimes. You start to create that fantasy, like, oh, what's going to look like? Jet setting all over the world. Like, hey, I Google, this is awesome. only to get to the final conversation. Wait. Oh no, did they ghost me? And all of a sudden, hey, you know what? Sorry, we decided to go in another direction. So at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to hire someone. So this is the second time this had happened to me with Google, but it happened with Microsoft. It happened with Amazon multiple times. These large companies, and I work for like large global type companies as a global marketer or like brand activation, whatever you want to call it in that realm. And so I hired a guy that I'd watched his videos on YouTube for years and years. Very, very good guy. And he had talked about, he had been a recruiter for these Meng, is the acronym company. So like your Meta, Amazon, Apple, what's the other one? Netflix, Google. So he had consulted, or he had been like a head of talent for a lot of these Meng companies. So I hired him. It's like, hey, here's what happened. And he was able to tell me, here's what they're looking for from their perspective. It's not about what you're looking for. It's about what they're looking for, how you present yourself on the market, how you do a proper resume. Here's how you do a thank you note. Here's what they're looking for when they ask you this question. Me being like, I'm a consultant by trade, so I'm looking at it analytically. They ask me this question, I'm gonna answer it directly. But now that I know what they actually are looking for, it's not about the question. That really helped me out. And Joel, you know, I made the most money in my life in the last 6 months of this last year. All of a sudden, I went from, oh my God, you know, am I gonna go a year without any work, and then bang bang, you know, bing bang boom, or how does that one go? Just offers coming in
Bang, bang,
immediately.
bang.
It's the same thing with dating. It's the same thing with the gym. It's the same thing with investing for you investors out there, for you crypto traders, for whatever you're looking at in life. It really helps to get someone who has been there, done that, learn from their lessons. And I'm at the point where if I have to pay for it, I'll pay for it. Rather than me spending years to figure it out and then sleepless nights and anxiety. Oh no, am I an effing loser because I can't get the type of work I want? I'll just hire someone, and then within weeks, oh, here we go. Now, not only can I not get work, but this will happen with you too, guys. If you work with us or someone else in the space, or when you identify these mental hangups and get this framework down or make it your own, you realize, okay, it's not a question of if I can get a date. It's who do I want to date? What do I want in my dating life? Because now I have too many options. But for me, I'm a huge advocate of create options for yourself, because then you're in the driver's seat. You're the architect of your own life, and you don't ever have to have these sleepless nights again. So really, if you're on the fence about coaching, again, with us, for dating, for lifestyle, for fitness, for whatever you want, with someone else, for whatever other aspect of your life. For me, I don't like to waste time. I'm very pragmatic. I do things that work, and coaching has worked for me time and time again. I've hired coaches many times in the past. I've worked with many of you. I might work with many of you in the future, hopefully so. Drop us a line if that's the issue. But for me, I've been there and done that with coaching. Hey, there's a gap in this area of skill in my life. I don't want to wait forever. Let's get it figured out. And I got it figured out, and then it's behind you, and then you move on to the next thing. So definitely do yourself the favor and at least entertain the idea if you're on the fence about that.
Yeah, definitely, man. We got a Spanish teacher too, so hit us up for that.
I know. I'm looking for a piano teacher. That piano's been sitting in my room for months. I can figure out chord shapes and patterns, and I can come up with basic compositions. But I saw you play at the airport when we went to LA Model Mansion Party with our good buddy Josh. Hey, what's up, Josh? Joel's one of those guys at the airport. Oh, there's a piano. I'll just like play some really cool shit. And I'm like, all right, I want to be that guy. So I bought the piano. I know all my major scales. I can run them. The hand coordination's still a bit off. I was like, you know what? I want to actually learn how to play it. So I'm looking for a piano coach this week, actually.
Nice.
And I will hire one in Spanish. They're very musically inclined down here too, guys. For you artistic people, very artistically inclined, musically inclined. Spanish is a phonetic language. If your ear's not trained to it yet, it does have like a rhythm to it. Even when I'm in the car with Chica and a song comes on, she'll sing with no vocal training. They have very good pitch naturally, as I think a byproduct of their language. So I'm going to hire a coach locally as well for piano.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just going to suggest my 30th offer here that I am a piano coach here in Mexico. But if you need that Spanish, then I think we're gonna have to DQ myself. But yeah, music's great, man. And like come down, like I DJ as well. So like, you know, there's a ton of good clubs, and house music and stuff's really big here.
You DJ at good clubs too as a headliner.
Yeah, it's fun.
You're all humble. Yeah, whatever. that club.
Yeah. I will be honest though, like guys, if you want to skip cold approach, skip online dating, skip social circle, just learn how to DJ. Like you don't even have to DJ, you just play Spotify. And if you're behind the decks at a big party, you will get girls coming up to you trying to get your number. It's like I only experienced it like because I got a girlfriend right after I started to experience it. But I was like, oh man, like this is really easy. It's
or
really easy.
any art. So whether you're like a painter, or a poet, or for me, I played guitars for a year. I always wanted to sing, always did kind of sing, hired a professional coach. So like when I serenade a girl on a date, it's game over. You can literally just watch them melt in front of you because it creates a, it's, well, I mean, there is a social proof factor, obviously, but it creates a connection direct 1-800, collect call to your soul. And yeah, you can skip all the cold approach and game techniques and optimizing your Tinder profiles and all that stuff. Just be really talented at any talent. It can be painting, it could be music, it could be poetry, you can be a playwright, whatever. But just show that, oh wow, this guy has an artistic ability, and that really streamlines the process. But that's part of larger, get your diet down pat, get your sleep down pat, get your gym down pat, explore other maybe artistic, softer sides of yourself. And then you create just a well-rounded personality, a unique, multifaceted person. And you'll see, like when you like, I know you guys are kidding there in the chat, but you'll see some of the comments in the chat or comments on videos we've done. You'll realize that's your competition in the marketplace. So once you go out there, you're like, oh, like I'm competing with these people, gringo, go home. Okay. That as a foreigner, that's your competition. Like, obviously here you come down, you speak multiple languages. Like, I'm not a fashionista by any means, but like reasonably well groomed, just have an air of confidence about yourself. And confidence is not, I think if you're new, fake it till you make it, that has some merit, but eventually you don't have to fake it anymore. You're like, oh, I'm just me all the time. And to be honest, most girls won't be into you. Most people don't want to do business with you. Most people aren't gonna come into the fold of what you have defined for what your life should look like. But when you put yourself out there, a lot of people will, and the right people will. And then like our Mexpat group, we have almost 100 guys that we've moved down here. They're not all full timers. We have hybrid model guys. We have guys that, maybe they live in Peru, Colombia, Argentina, and they have a layover in Mexico City. So they stay here for a week, 2, 3, what have you. But we have a solid network of guys here, and they're all guys that are into self-improvement and fitness and finance and TRT and languages and intercultural stuff. And when we get together, like we don't have to worry about, oh, go talk to that girl. The girls will come to us. Even in this video, we did come off pretty cartoonish, but I have gorgeous girls slide in my DMs. I'm like, all right, like this girl gets it. She's cool. Like like we put ourselves out there. We knew we were going to get made fun of, and we did it anyways. That speaks far more volume than like, oh, hey, it's a guy that kind of fits my prototype for what I'd be attracted to physically on a screen. So keep that in mind too. Constant self-development in whatever avenue of your life you're looking at.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother. I think that you took all the words out of my mouth. So yeah, I think any last words for you? I think we'll wrap it up here and call her a night. But
yeah, I can go ahead. I can go ahead and close it. So guys, I'm sure if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you came by way of the video, be sure to check it out, like, comment, support those guys too. That they're creatives here locally. They're very talented, went to very good film schools. One of my mentors in my early content days told me, don't ever read the comments. I'm a bit of a sadist. I can't help it. So I read them all. So there were comments. So they did talk shit on the host too. So a lot of people are like, oh, shaky camera. You're filming techniques off. These guys are actual professionals. They own an agency. They do a lot of corporate type stuff like I do, or, like Joel does. Like we have legit careers. This is more like a side project because we like to help people out. I like to do content. I like to help guys that think they can't do it, because I was that guy before. Oh, I'll always be fat. Oh, I'll never get a girl. I was that guy. And it's really nice when it took me 20 years in the self-improvement thing, for guys, when we can just get you there in a couple months or a couple years, or just get you on the right footing so you can go ahead and let your own momentum carry you forward. And I don't like to see people suffer unnecessarily. And I believe that guys that have hangups with women or dating or finances or fitness, this is all unnecessary torture. It's self-inflicted torture, and it's not necessary. So we're here to help you. We definitely enjoy that. Be sure to go over to their channel, like their stuff, check it out. Great group of guys. If you want to collaborate in any capacity, that doesn't mean we'll say yes. We are busy professionals by day. You'll notice these streams are normally in the evening or later afternoon for that reason. But definitely drop us a line, anything and everything at all. We're looking forward to working with you. Comment, like, subscribe, share, refer to a friend. It's really just about
Let's go.
bringing more bros in the network, I suppose. Oh no, that's going to get clipped out. And like, oh, this guy's a bro. So that became a negative thing at some point. But guys, look to level up in all areas of your life. We're here to help you in whatever way we can, and if not, we'll point you in the right direction to the best of our ability.
Amen, brother. Amen. So with that, guys, we'll see you on the next one. We got some great pods coming. We're going to do a mixed one on Poland versus Mexico City. We got some more dating ones coming. Jaren, you'll do one on remote work, how to find a remote job. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Yep. And we're excited to be getting
Spanish language school owner. He's traveling right now. That was scheduled for this week. It looks like we'll do it next week or in the upcoming week. So guys that want more Spanish language stuff. I see that question about buying property in Mexico. I think we'll table that for another topic. We can talk about that. Like, do you want to invest here? And if so, how do you want to do that? Whether it be property or businesses or virtual type projects. These are all things we've encountered as well. These are things I'm also considering. So we can do it more in like a Q&A type format. So be sure to get us on your feed, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll start popping up in the algos. And I think that'll be a broader discussion.
Definitely, man. All right, boys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the fun and the funny comments. Thanks for the guys that ask questions. And we will see you on the next one.
Yep. Cheers.
Salud.
Tschüss. Adios.